But to be honest with you, didn't have much confidence in myself for a very long time. Even when I was younger, I would never let anybody like watch me or listen to me. Now I've got a lot more kind of self-worth, and I understand that everyone's art's different. There's no, there's no boxes to be put into. I think like the toxic relationship I was in, that put a halt on me progressing. I think I never thought songwriting could be a career. Do you know what I mean? As small-minded as that is, it got really bad one day and I ended up at the bottom of the stairs. So I was like, I need to go or I'm gonna die.
More things. Ladies and gentlemen, chivalry is not dead because we have a special guest all the way from God's own country, Yorkshire, singer and songwriter. Oh yes, UK finalist in Open Mic 2022, released her album Awaken, and she is just coming back from tour and taking her sweet, sweet voice higher all the way around the country. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Doncaster's finest, Farah T.
Wow. That's the best introduction I've ever had.
Tell your friends, Farah. Tell them all about it. Tell them all about it. Welcome to the Korak. How are you?
Thank you for having me. I'm good. How are you guys?
We're always good. We're always good.
See how she said, how are you guys?
You see,
guys.
I told you, man, the North is a different crisp.
It is, honestly.
There you go. Don't start with all
What do you know about the North?
What
I'm from the North.
Don't
start again.
We've already discussed this. She is from the North. She's a northerner.
She's northern. All right.
Don't identify.
I dub you a northerner. There
Thank
you go.
you.
It's
There you
official.
go. It's official.
It's official.
So Tory of House Stark. I'll be like, no.
Yes. All right, people. Korak is bought for us production by BK Creative and of course our producer Bajels.
Oh.
Every week she has a different name, but yeah, Bajels is what she's going with today. All right, like Farah. So we're going to start this very simply. We're going to talk about you, obviously, and then we'll talk about certain situations that happen in the world of music. We'll talk about your album. We'll talk about one of the things you're very passionate about in terms of raising awareness for domestic violence.
Yeah.
And then we'll chat about a whole lot of other things, and you'll probably tell us why, Yorkshire is the best place in the world. But for now, we always start this podcast with a very simple question. If we go back, because this is Korak's destination established by that single step.
Yeah.
What do you remember as your first step that you took in terms of this journey to the destination you want to get to?
Well, I think I've always wanted to kind of write music and sing and dance and just do anything that's creative. But to be honest with you, didn't have much confidence in myself for a very long time. Even when I was younger, I would never let anybody like watch me or listen to me. I would lock myself away and just envision myself being a superstar.
Do you remember the first time you maybe when you were little, when you kind of sang to yourself or?
Yes, I sang into a phone. No, 90s babies will know this. You can remember Talk Boys? Am I the oldest one here? Everybody's just looking at me like,
it depends
what?
on which person's face you look at.
Okay, wait. So who's seen Home Alone?
Yeah.
Okay, he has the Talk Boy. He records
When you said Talk Boy, I think it was a group.
No. The device, whatever toy it was.
Yes, I remember those.
I recorded myself singing some J-Lo song. I don't even know what it was.
Do you remember?
No, I really don't. And when I listened to it back, I was like, oh, no, absolutely not.
So when you say, you seem like there's loads of energy. You seem like you come from you don't seem shy at all. Well, maybe these are things that, developed as you were getting older. But you say you always knew you wanted to sing and perform, but you didn't have the confidence. So where do you think it came from in terms of, first of all, how did you know you always wanted to sing and perform?
It's as long as I can remember. I really don't have an answer for that. I've always been singing or dancing or... I was fine kind of in front of my family, and we used to do the whole thing with your cousins, and you grab them and put on a show and make your parents sit and watch for an hour.
Your parents are good for an hour.
It'd be a full show, costume changes. By that I mean like a towel or something.
I can't even remember getting my parents to sit down for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Maybe apart from PTA or something, when some teacher was saying I was crap at some stuff. But 1 hour.
I'd make them sit down and watch everything. But I think, so I do remember I went to dance school when I was little, and then we came out on stage, and this is actually a core memory because I didn't understand it as a kid. But do you know when you see cute little kids coming out in their first like
Yeah.
dance show, and everybody kind of laughs, but it's usually like, oh my God, they're so...
So cute.
Whereas I heard people laughing and I ran off stage and that was me done
Oh.
for like a good few years. Like it ruined me.
How old were you then?
I think I started dancing when I was 3, and then so it will have been one of my first dance shows.
Oh yeah, I mean if you
So,
do
like,
follow
maybe,
Farah on Instagram, she does like once in a while. I like the way the video will start. She's like close to the camera, and she just goes back, bam, 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 then drops those moves. I'm like, oh hello.
Wow, yeah, that was a good impression.
Oh yeah,
It
no, I
was
see
very
that.
good. It was very-
It's good, spot on.
Like I'm always saying,
Spot
in
on.
this room right
Yeah.
now, I'm the best dancer.
Yeah, well,
I'm
yeah.
just saying.
I don't doubt it. I really don't
Thank you
doubt
very
that.
much. Thank you very much.
You're
So
the
yeah,
best
just
dancer.
100%.
And what makes you think that?
I don't think I know. I know Bajel sounds like 3 left foot.
oh,
What?
Yeah.
No, you know
He
what?
does.
You're a hater. You're a jealous hater.
But Blessing,
No, I dance.
Can
I
you
really,
dance?
Yeah.
I really,
Yes.
really dance.
he's all right.
yes,
He's all right.
I love
Jay is
that.
actually intimidated by me, but he doesn't want to admit it.
So as we were saying,
See what I mean?
That's why
Anyway.
he's projecting onto us.
Yeah.
so
Jealous.
would you say your family is like, were they musical in terms of because the entertainment gene must come from somebody. You must come from somewhere.
No, my dad loves his music. That's a great thing that me and my dad have in common.
What kind of
We
music?
go
does
to a
he
lot of
like?
gigs together. We love rock. We love everything, basically.
Yes.
And we sit and we'll have a drink on a Sunday, and that's us for a good 3-4 hours. And we just put Spotify on and we talk music. We go to gigs. We went on a road trip in January to Germany to watch one of our bands. So
Which is?
we went to see. I don't think you'll
Just
maybe have
saying,
heard of
somebody
it.
out there would know. You almost lost us with.
I'm
Top
only
Boy.
saying that because obviously I love them.
I love
but
rock,
every
so-
person that I've told are like, oh, I don't know them. Frank Carter and the Rattlesnake.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know them.
I knew it. I knew you were
I've
lying.
heard of them. I've never listened to them. But
Okay,
yeah.
yeah. So yeah, me and my dad are like a bit of a rock chick in that sense.
Hello.
I kind of love.
We'll
yeah.
talk.
Yes, absolutely. So yeah, but I don't think my cousins sing. So me and my 2 cousins, they used to gig before they had their babies, and used to write music and stuff. But I'm not really sure where it comes from. I'm not gonna lie.
So what's the
I have no
family?
clue.
What's the family setup? Siblings? You an only kid?
I have a sister who's 15 years older than me.
15 years older.
Yeah, so my
Okay.
nephew's 21.
Oh, hello.
Yeah.
So he's like he's gonna be going gigging with you real soon.
Well, yeah, hopefully. No, he's amazing. He's so cool. He's called Devante. And we're more like friends than anything. He comes to stay with me and chill with me, and so far he's not embarrassed to be with me yet, which
not
is a
yet.
good thing.
Not yet.
Yeah,
not yet.
so I'm trying to.
Time will
Yeah,
come.
I just
I'm
keep
the cool-
taking him to
I'm the
Wagamama's
cool
and he's
uncle.
happy.
I'm the cool
whatever.
uncle. So yeah, they don't, I'm not even an uncle. I'm a funkle.
Oh,
Oh yes, I'm a
wow.
funkle. So you don't call me uncle. They call me Funkle J. Oh my god. So I understand the coolness.
Yeah,
the coolness,
yeah,
you know.
I can
So
tell.
you're a cool auntie. You're
Yeah.
a cool auntie.
Hopefully, yeah.
Well, Wagamama is not too bad.
No,
Not
he
too
likes
bad.
it.
Not too
Yeah.
bad. When he starts asking for something either less or more, that's when you know the coolness is dropping.
Yeah. But so far he likes to spend time with me, so that's a good thing.
So born and bred Doncaster.
Yeah.
How is it in terms of talking about the trauma that you had? So you ran off stage when you thought people were laughing at you.
Yeah.
And Doncaster is a small town.
We're a city now, actually.
Oh,
Yeah.
So I'm just
Apologies.
saying.
When did that happen?
Small town.
It's a small town.
When
It's
did
a
that
small
happen?
city.
When did that happen?
2022, I think.
Somebody just swapped the town.
They just said, nah, let's just change
Yeah,
it.
they were like, the
It's
Queen
the
was
same
like, fine, you've been asking for it for years. We'll give you it.
Okay, but growing up at the time,
Mm-hmm.
it's a smallish city or a small city.
It is a small. It was a
you-
small town, yeah.
How did you actually get past the trauma, considering that you probably know that auntie or that uncle or that family?
So actually, it was my sister. Obviously, like I said, she's a lot older than me. And she basically, I continued to just keep dancing in my bedroom. And I would get obsessed with like musicals or music videos. I actually used to walk around with a VHS tape, and I would go on MTV Base all day and record all my favourite R&B songs and learn the
Those are
dance
the
routines
days.
from like Destiny's Child.
Yeah.
And then I would go to my cousins and be like, watch this, and stand in front of it and do all the dancing and do all the routines.
Is there like a standout one that you recorded, like that when you think back of that, you're like,
There's a couple, like Khalees did a really cool video, and I can't remember what it was called, but it was like an orange setup in the
I
background.
know the one you're
Trick Me
talking
Once.
about.
Trick Me, yeah,
Trick
that's
Me,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So there were two Kelly's songs that killed at some point.
Oh,
so
yeah,
it's
yeah,
that
yeah.
one and Milkshake.
Oh my God,
Milkshake.
yeah.
I watched
Milkshake.
Milkshake all the I mean, I even had it on
All
the
the
CD.
time.
I bet you did, yeah.
I bet you
was
did.
scratched.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
There's
Yeah.
a
Okay.
particular, the particular point on that music where she goes like when she's about to go into the second chorus, and when she goes, oh my God.
Continue
God,
to
Lord have
expose
mercy."
yourself.
So
I
you
know,
remember
right?
the exact point. That's what you're saying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's because it was more about the music though.
Oh right, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Continue to expose
That's why
yourself.
we're here today. Because
Well,
of
there
that
wasn't
video.
much of a
Yes.
dance routine to that video,
It
so
was just a little bit shaky.
Yeah.
No, you guys. See,
But like
that's-
Destiny's
this is how I
Child.
know I'm the best dancer, man, because there's loads of dance stuff in that video.
Right, yeah.
But
On
anyway,
the
as I said,
counter.
I was a fan of Nas. I just wanted to know who Nas was being with at the time.
okay, all right.
I mean, he's onto something there.
But yeah, I used to carry that around and then show people. Well, close family, like cousins and
So
stuff.
you were all right with the family, in terms of close family, but anybody
Kind of,
else?
yeah.
does it? So what exactly?
I was
did your-
petrified. I
what
just
did your
had stage
sister do?
fright.
What did your sister do? What did she say to you?
So she came around one day because she didn't live at home at this time. She'd already obviously gone and moved out. And so I think I must have been about 12. And she came over for like Sunday lunch, and I was chatting away and telling her all this stuff. And I think she must have said, well, show me something. And I must have got all shy and said, oh, no, I don't want to do it now. And she basically just said, and I tell her this now, that she's the reason, because, am I allowed to swear?
Please feel free.
Yeah.
Because she pissed me off. And she told
That
me...
was swearing.
That's not swearing.
No, but I know, I don't know.
She's really no.
She pissed me off, and she just said that I would never make anything of it if I wouldn't dare even do it in front of her. And she was like, how are you ever going to do all these things you said you're going to do and you won't even do it in front of
Did
me?
she say it in that same tone, though?
Oh, yeah. Oh, she had some sass with me. But she did it, and that... Well, I went to my bedroom and cried, first of all, because she hurt my feelings. But then after that, I got really mad, and I was like, right,
Do you
I'll
still
show you. And then I
mean,
joined...
That look on your face.
Oh,
Does that still happen?
Yeah.
If somebody makes you cry, you coming back with like a baseball
The
bat
best
or
thing you
something.
can do is piss me off and tell me I can't do it, which I don't think's a good trait, but in a way it is,
It
because
is.
if you
It's
tell me I
fire.
can't do something, then I'll do it.
Farah, you cannot punch blessing. You can't. There's no way you can do that. You can't punch blessing.
No.
Ladies and gentlemen, if blessing turns up with a black eye.
No,
Right.
don't. Because something crazy will happen now and it'll be on this podcast, and then
We'll
I'll
have
get
a
into
lot of people
trouble.
from Oxford looking for you.
Yeah, exactly. See?
So she pissed you off. You decided, I'm going to show you. So did you like come back out after crying and come straight back out to show her?
No. Well, actually, I don't remember what happened next, to be quite honest. But I probably didn't speak to her for a while because I was a child and probably didn't want to speak to her. But then instantly, I was like, right, Mum, I'm ready to go back to singing and dancing, and sign me up for the classes, sign me up for the
What
schools.
was the reaction?
She was like, it's about bloody time.
Love it.
Yeah. So then I went back, and there I was.
I can just imagine my mom would have been, look, don't waste my time. If this is just a waste of time, are you sure? But that was like a trigger moment. That was like a big pivot moment, a turning point in your life.
Huge, yeah.
Now, so I like to blend with the pivot moments. I like to understand the validation point. So, did you think, on a scale of 1 to 10, how good did you think you were? Because there's one thing I think, I still believe that I'm like one of the best shower singers ever.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't mean I'll ever record an album.
Okay.
But with you, when did you think that, your sister triggered the turning point? Because you always feel like you've always had it, the dancing, the singing. How
Yeah.
did you go from signing up for the classes to getting to that point of going, I'm actually good at this?
Honest answer, sometimes I still don't think I'm good enough to do things.
Really?
Yeah.
In terms of butterflies, a few doubts or situations happening?
No, I mean, I think it's just something that, and a lot of people I know, actually, a lot of artists and performers, it's that whole like imposter syndrome. Like,
Yeah.
I don't, sometimes there's days I'm like, why am I doing what am I doing? Why do people book me? Why am I doing this? You start to compare yourself to other people, or it's the opposite end of the scale where you go, why have I got this? Why have I had this opportunity? Why have they given me this? There's better people. So you kind of have to, and I think social media has a lot to do with that.
Yeah, I think for women as well, in particular.
Yeah, because you're constantly compared.
Yeah.
There's always someone who's doing something, but then also people are looking at you thinking the same thing. So I just try and turn that around and be more inspired by people, rather than thinking, why aren't I there yet? Or why have I been given this opportunity? So I think I've always felt like that, but more so when I was younger. I used to get stage fright so bad. And I think that's what that was.
After the turning point?
Yes and no. I got a little bit better, but I still found it like, my anxiety would be terrible and I would like throw up before performances, and I was a mess a lot of the time. But now I've got a lot more kind of self-worth, and I understand that everyone's art's different. There's no boxes to be put into. I write my music for me now instead of thinking about what other people think or if other people will like it. I write it for me, and then if other people like it, then and also if it can help other people, then I'm like, okay, cool. Then I think I'm doing okay. If you know what I mean.
What kind of helped you get over that imposter syndrome? Because I think that's something that a lot of people face, especially creatives, I would say. I think social media, I can speak for myself as a creative, you see people doing the same thing you're doing or the things that you want to do, and it's hard. It can be crippling. Like the anxiety can be crippling and make you not want to do anything. Obviously you had your moment where you realized this is what I want to do for life, but what kind of changed in you that made you think, I'm just going to do this, I don't care about what other people say, what other people think, I just want to do this for me?
I think it was people sort of seeing the hard work, but then also like believing in you. And sometimes you just need somebody to just be like, I'll support you, I'll go with you. If it's something you want to be serious about, then I'll be there with you every step of the way.
Is that the validation thing we're talking about?
Yeah, it was my dad and my mum, obviously. I mean, let's face it, it's a career that's tough anyway. So I think my mum was just more worried for me in the sense of, if anybody says anything to my baby, and are you sure you want to do this because I want to protect you? She's never not believed in me. She's there with me 100%. But my dad was the one who was like, we've got an audition in Glasgow, let's go. Come on. My God. You're amazing. Let's do it. My God. So I think it just kind of took a little bit of encouragement for me to go, oh, well, maybe I can do this then. And then just give it my best shot. And I just made sure then I was completely dedicated to it. In the sense of training all the time and singing and trying to find songwriters and friends as well, like networking and finding people who, I think it's a lot to do with surrounding yourself with the right people in the business. I'm lucky enough to know a lot of incredible independent artists or performers who I work with that are really kind, really helpful. They don't gatekeep. They want to support everyone because we're all in the same boat.
Tell them about Korak. Just saying.
I will, don't worry.
I mean, when we talk about, so when you went back and mommy signed you up for all the singing classes and you were going through that stage, that period where there'd be a stage fright, a bit of anxiety, and as Blessing has asked you, how did you get over it in terms of, and you've just explained all that. So as you're going through this, at what point did you actually say, this is what I want to do? This is me. This is what I want to do for the rest of my life?
I've always, I know this sounds really fucking cheesy, but I've always known. I don't know, even being that little girl, dancing in front of the TV, and even though I was like shy and scared, I've always known since having my first little dance bag with my ballerinas on it, and I've always known that this is what I'm going to do.
I just want to go back to that feeling, like when you're about to go on stage now, how do you feel? Because I actually think that should never ever go away fully. Because that the healthy
butterflies and stuff that people talk about.
Every time butterflies, scared, questions. I have to tell that little demon to get away though. Sometimes it's that whole, are you good enough for this? And then I just have to go, yes, and also go and enjoy. I have to try and just embrace it instead of worrying about it so much.
Do you have rituals you do?
Oh my God, yeah.
Everyone seems to have their own.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Do you ever get the point? So I always get two demons, no angel. So
I said two demons.
Two demons.
Yeah, usually people get like one angel. Yeah, don't worry, everything is fine. A demon, like, nah, but I usually get two. And they're both always saying the same thing in the kind of, but one speaks in like pidgin English, like Nigerian kind of. And then the other one. So, but either way, I always argue with them. So I think if I ever get an angel, I'll be very confused because it means that there's something wrong.
Well, then you should be that voice for yourself.
on her.
Ooh, that was profound.
No,
that was. Let's click. Let's click.
I tell you what. Just look at me. Don't smile. Just say it to me the way your sister said it to you.
No.
Just say it to me the way your sister said it to you.
No.
I like it. Well,
I won't repeat that.
I will take your advice. I will be the voice.
If you want, I can get her to call you and she can tell you yourself, because I can't recreate that. She put me in my place.
Usually, I always ask a question when people mention their sister and stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to mention it this time.
I think you have to now because you said it.
You just God.
What?
Is your sister hot?
Oh my
She's
God.
beautiful.
Finally, somebody answered
the
She's
question.
beautiful. My mum's stunning. My sister's stunning. My nephew's bloody gorgeous. Yeah, I've got a beautiful family.
Get your sister to call me, please.
Oh, God.
As you mentioned.
Shall I get a partner to call you as well? Or?
It depends.
Okay.
It depends.
I'll get him to give you a call, maybe.
So one of everybody talks about, knowing or not knowing, eventually getting to a point where they knew they wanted to make it, and talking about all that good stuff. Now, a lot of people don't concentrate on the struggles and on the footsteps. So taking you back, apart from the anxiety and overcoming all that, what were the initial hardships? I mean, you've talked about a bit of struggle with mental health. What happened in life as you were growing up that was kind of, halt the journey, or actually putting a slow motion to the journey? Is there a particular point you always look back and go, it's a good thing I overcame that?
I think like the toxic relationship I was in, that put a halt on me progressing, in the sense of, because I was kind of made to feel that I couldn't do anything, go anywhere, or that I wasn't any good.
Before we dive into that, when did that start? When did it? I mean, we can't
I
just
was
go from
21.
You're 21.
Yeah.
Okay. Before
So
we get 21.
baby.
So before all that part happening in 21, what happened? How was the music progressing before you got to 21? Were you gigs coming in, things happening?
I started working for a management at a company that produced shows. So I went to college, did the performing arts thing, and then I kind of decided that I wanted to just go straight into it, and I thought, let's just go for it when I leave college. A lot of people went to university, and I think my mum and my dad were a little bit scared, because obviously it's hard to make a living, or it's hard to get into full time. But I said, look, I'll audition for some universities. I got accepted to a couple and got in, and they offered me a place. And I said, give me a year, and if I don't get any job in, being a dancer, a singer, anything like that, then I will go to uni. And I said, but give me a year. And then I never went back to uni. So I got my first dance job, which was a little bit sketchy, but hey ho. To me, I was like, I've done it though. You can't take that from me.
Sketchy in what way?
It was a bar called Coyote.
Oh,
so
okay. I'm thinking of the movie.
It was just.
I'm trying to imagine it right now.
No, it wasn't like in that sense.
What
I mean,
no.
That's
It
what
was.
everyone went to the movie.
Yeah, so but it was me and a friend actually. So we'd do full out dance routines. Like we used to do full out like commercial dancing and things like that. But it was one of them places where like my shift started at 2 a.m. and I was like, just dancing for drunken idiots and doing full out routines.
Sounds
and nobody
like
were
Jay
really
on a Thursday
watching.
night.
I've got a question, right?
Yeah.
If you had to choose between never dancing again or never singing again, which one would you pick?
Oh no, I can't. I'd sooner die. No.
Sooner die.
I can't answer that. No, I really do love both. And I love, obviously now, I've always kind of written music, but to me, I just thought, the little poems for me, like a journal. Yeah. So I'd never really called myself a songwriter because I wouldn't, again, let anyone see it. But my dancing and my singing has always been something that's really important to me because I like to do both.
Yeah.
So even when you were, giving the dance routines to the drunken Doncaster lads, you were writing music and you were still having time to make songs and all that?
Yes, but no. So not at the capacity that I'm doing it at now. I just used to write poems when I felt like it. I never thought songwriting could be do you know what I mean? As small-minded as that it is, I didn't think that could be a thing. I just thought they were my little.
I used to Or does it come from an exposure in terms of... So, a lot of... I grew up in a town, city, small, where we think we're the best thing in the world compared to anybody. And there's nothing you can do to change that. But then you always have that exposure when you leave certain towns. Luckily, my parents were very exposed people, so it was always... The world doesn't just revolve here. There are other things. How much of that had to do with your mental strength or had to do with exposure, not particularly leaving Doncaster?
I think, because I gigged after I finished the dance job, I then started working for a company that gigged all over the country. So I think that was kind of eye-opening for me then, because I started to meet other performers who would start talking about things that they were doing, like open mics, and I'd be like, what's that? And then they'd kind of be like, oh, I write my own music, that's what I do. So I think that's when I started thinking, oh, I might find a studio, find a producer, and start writing my own music and recording it, which is actually then what I started doing when I moved to that company. Because again, I was seeing that it was bigger than Doncaster, I guess.
One of the things I always try to understand is, so at a certain point, they're like role models, people that people look up to. I mean, till now, to me, it's still Denzel. And, other stuff. Who were you looking at the point, even before you left Doncaster, who was the one you wanted to be like? Who was the, this is what I want to be like?
Justin Timberlake.
Oh.
JT.
I wanted to be JT, or his wife, but, either one. But him, like his dancing, his singing, everything that he did, to me, I was like, wow. And obviously, like Alicia Keys, like the ones, Destiny's Child, everyone that was big then in that scene. Like early 2000s.
Usher dance argument. I used to love that argument, and it was. I clearly know who you stood for.
I went to see him 4 times. 4? Oh, I was obsessed with him, yeah.
Okay.
Obsessed.
Like his show, not like him in his house.
Oh, no.
Okay, just checking.
No.
Just checking. Just making
I
sure.
wish.
So, in this period, I mean, we're going to go to talking about the situation that you mentioned when you were 21. But before you were 21, no boys? No?
I think I had probably, a couple of boyfriends, but...
1 or 2 lads from the Coyote Club.
Lads.
I can just imagine when
Not from the Coyote Club, no.
I can just imagine when... Did you dance on the bar?
We did the bar and there was a stage, yeah. We wouldn't do the routines on the bar, though.
I can just imagine when you were on the bar, you see like 1 or 2. You know when those drunk guys are always trying to copy you? Bumping into each other.
Definitely. A few of them.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Sidetrack. What's the bar dancing situation like?
It's not as glamorous as it looks.
I danced on a bar once in Canada.
Yeah.
It's quite fun.
Okay. Did you do it in heels and was it scary?
Yeah.
Or did you
were serving drinks on the bar that we were dancing on as well.
Oh, okay.
It was chaotic.
Oh, see,
Is there a video of this?
Facts.
I was petrified that I was going to fall off every night, so I didn't fully enjoy it.
Yeah, it's not...
There's a lot of arms instead of legs moving.
You can't really move your legs.
No, I'd be like, I'm not moving anything.
So who makes up, who actually choreographs the dance moves?
Well, the arms... so complicated. That was me.
Did you have something like support, like a bar to hold on to?
Absolutely nothing.
No. Okay,
yeah, that's why it was scary. But me and my friend, we went to dance college anyway, so it was basically just us two that used to choreograph everything in our space at college, in the studio, at dinner time or whatever, and then we'd have. So basically, we had a lot of them under our belts, and we just used to then perform it when we first left college. We just used to steal our own routines. And the manager would be like, yeah, do whatever you want.
Did they tell you what music they were playing as well that night? Or did you get to pick it?
Tonight's gonna be a good night.
The good thing with the routines that we would make up over the years, they'd pretty much fit to anything. Yeah. So we just would, say, are you playing these current songs? Okay, great. Let's do... We used to have names for different... routines. There used to be one called Destiny. I don't know why. It wasn't Destiny Child, but we'd be like, oh yeah, we'll do Destiny to that and we'll do this to this. And it just would fit. It was one of them. Commercial dancing would fit to anything. So
now one of the things and one of the reasons I'm going to ask this is, I'm a big believer that a lot of people don't actually have I like to call it an identification. So like knowing who you are at that particular point. Mm-hmm. So coming up to 21, you were still finding yourself in terms of, I'm a Justin Timberlake, Coyote loving lady.
Yeah.
And all that. And then eventually, so you get to 21, and then you end up in what you described as a very toxic relationship. How did that come about? How did that happen? And why did it end up being toxic?
My bad. I think I was 22, but not that makes much difference. It just, I mean, it started off like a lot of abusive relationships start off. There was a lot of love bombing, but I think that's only become a term recently.
Yeah.
What is love bombing?
And also, we presented very toxic relationship templates from Disney and all the shows that we watch.
Right? Yeah.
Like Scandal, toxic.
Yeah.
Little Mermaid, toxic.
Yeah.
She leaves her people under the sea to run after some guy.
See?
Who doesn't see any problems with it.
That is, she left the sea to chase the love of her life, and you said that is toxic.
There's a lot of things now.
I don't even want to get in this argument. Because
I'm asking. I'm just
like if you watch,
it's a simple question.
If you watch a Disney film now, guaranteed there's like a disclaimer in front of it. They've had to do that because there's so many things that are now ridiculously offensive, but also
I can understand the offensive.
I can understand like sexist things as well, and it's just
100%.
Yeah,
you can talk about loads and loads of. I mean, one of the most sexist cartoons back in the day was Petit Le Pew. It literally, I don't think they show that cartoon anymore.
Really?
I
don't think I've ever watched that.
The skunk that was in love with the squirrel.
Yeah.
I used to chase the squirrel around.
Yeah.
It was. I mean, I remember there was Dave Chappelle mentioned. He said it in one of his skits years ago, but that cartoon has been taken off air. They don't show it anymore because it's big. In terms of the toxic Disney thing, those were Bajel's words.
No, I'm just saying there was
Disney.
That era
Listen,
where
we don't want
to.
kind of.
I'm just saying.
Presented in the media
people are picking it apart now because everyone's watching it back and going, "Hang on a minute."
Yeah, it makes sense. So I mean, awareness is key. Awareness is key. But what is love bombing?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's. I'll just give you an example of what happened to me, and it was very much just. It's that whole treat you like a princess or whatever that means to you. I'm just using that. It very intense. Met the man of my whirlwind romance. Showy with gifts, things like that.
Affection.
Whether you want it or not, I'm not somebody who's bothered about anything like that. But obviously, if it's happening in the moment, you're like, oh, this is amazing. This has never happened. Just used to like pick me up and say, I'm taking you here. This is your day, so you just take me into any shop and be like, pick anything, it's on me. And I'd be like, what? Just things like that, very intense, very like a movie almost, like
rom-com.
And then it's very quickly they do that to make you fall in love with them because they present themselves as that person in the beginning who actually that's not the person they are. They kind of put on a facade.
I mean, when you're at a young age and you're trying to understand the kind of person you are, it is sometimes a lot of us have a foundation of what we think love is. Yeah. Like from the movies and all that, growing up, what you think. At that point, would you say you understood, obviously you understand it way better now. Yeah. But at that point, you saw all that as this guy truly loves me or wants me.
1,000%, yeah.
Okay.
It's so easy to...
So it's very common. I think it'd be hard to find a woman that hasn't got a similar story. Yeah. In a way, it's very common.
Yeah.
So when was the point where it kind of turned?
It was probably about 8 months in, to be honest with you, and then what happens is they kind of twist it and turn it. So I'd be like, "You've changed. What's happening? You're not this. This is not who I met." And then they change it round to, "Well, it's you. You're not the pit." They do that whole switcheroo, and they're like, "You're making me like this. You're the reason."
Was the change coming from a place of the change in terms of character or how they treated you, or
words? And like it was in the beginning, it was more like mental and emotional. So there'd be a lot of comparison to his ex. A lot of comparison in bodies and things like that. So then I'd be like, oh shit, I need to like keep up with this that you like. But by then you're hooked, you're in it, and you're like, oh, I'm not.
As well. It's like, oh, she looks great, and it's that subtle.
Yeah. And when you're young and impressionable in that sense, it's like obviously by then I was like madly in love with him. So then I was like, I need to do this to keep him.
Yeah.
And that I didn't, it was almost like the tables had turned to the point where I didn't deserve him.
How much older was he?
Like 4.5 years older than me, I think.
I was trying to understand. You know, when people talk about like the relationships and what happens, one of the things you try and always understand is where did this, I mean, sometimes it's reversed, but male, female, where do these people actually, where they get this training from that they can actually walk on people's, I mean, I'm sure at every point, at every given point, each and every one of us has probably broken somebody's heart.
Yeah, absolutely,
apart from me. But each and everybody has broken. Yeah, I didn't say I'm perfect. I'm just saying. I'm just saying broken heart. But
it's probably a group somewhere supporting each other.
A group chat, a WhatsApp.
Farahs Anonymous. So you got in, and you said 8 months in, you started to know this thing. So how long, when did you actually get to the point that you were like, this is not me? What raised the awareness? And then it talks about, this was the mental part. And I know you're a big advocate for raising awareness of domestic violence. Did it become physical?
Yeah. So it just would get kind of heated in the sense of I started sticking up for myself with my attitude. That's what I used to call it, and my lip. But that was, you know, he would say things about me. And when I did start to say, well, if that's what you like, then go get that instead, sort of thing, it would cause arguments. And then he would react physically. So the first time it was like a slap, but then he blamed me for that because of something that I'd said to him, because he'd, you know, called me ugly or whatever he'd called me. And I'd like told him to go fuck himself or whatever. And then I got a slap for that. So that's how it started. But again, it's a really, and I, like, looking at it now and even talking about it, I do feel like that was a completely different person. And I just want to give her a hug and tell her everything will be all right. But at the same time, I'll never be ashamed of what I went through. People who do what he did are very smart, very clever. And again, I don't know where that comes from, but I was, you know, manipulated in that sense. But I'll also talk about it because it is such a taboo subject. People don't like listening to it.
It's a big issue, though. It's a big issue. It
is a big issue.
I think it's more of an issue if somebody doesn't want to listen to it, more than somebody that doesn't want to talk about it. I can understand.
Yeah, because so many people will say, well, why didn't you just leave? Like, so I've lost friends over that. That would say you should have just left. And I'm like, and I don't speak to him anymore because
it's a very, I don't have words for it. It's a very... I don't have words. No. It's just cruel in a way.
Yeah. People don't... I would never... I always say, unless you've been in a situation, whether it's mental, physical, emotional, whatever kind of, you know, abuse it is, you will never know either how you'll react, or some people do just leave. But I would never wish it on anyone for you to be ever put in a position like that, for you to understand how you'd react. But I also can't explain it to you.
Oh yeah, it's difficult to explain. It's sometimes it's like the sympathy, empathy kind of situation. Some people may sympathize, but it's like, oh. Yeah. But then you have possibly people that have possibly gone through it to probably have more empathy. Yeah. And most guys, okay, not most guys, a lot of guys will probably not have gone through that situation. And it's very difficult for people to actually dwell into an emotion that they have no idea about. Yeah. And but it's a good. So you started getting stronger. Your awareness started getting bigger. What was the final? I'm done with this. This is over. And was there any pushback from him in terms of?
Yeah, I left.
To let you go.
I left him a couple of times. Yeah. So I should probably go back over that. But I left him maybe 5 times in the 5 years, normal. And that is completely normal. It takes about 7 times before a woman actually leaves.
Yeah, if she's lucky. 7.
If she's lucky, yeah. So basically, I left, but then, and I'd be very strong. I'm done. Sometimes it'd be like 6 months, but it would be constant emails, phone calls. I would block things like that. And then it would be letters and, you know, just things that would make me think that he'd changed. He'd start being that person who I met in the beginning, and then I'd fall back into it all over again. But the point for me was it got really bad one day, and I ended up at the bottom of the stairs. So I was like, I need to go or I'm going to die.
When you raise awareness for domestic violence. What are one of the things, how do you get people to understand the situation? It is, I don't want to use the word easier, but I think it's more understanding when you speak to people that are in that situation, have been in.
Yeah.
So, and when you raise the awareness, what do you want from people that haven't been in it? What do you want them to do? How do you want them to support? How do you want them to help people that have actually been in that situation or are in that situation?
To not be ashamed, for a start. That's the main thing, because a lot of people see it as a weakness.
Yeah.
And I really don't. I think it takes a lot of strength to leave a situation like that. But
do they see it as weakness, or they're quite worried about being judged? Like, with the in certain situations as a guy, and having sometimes the older you get, apart from people that you're very close to, you don't want to tell them stuff because you're afraid of that judgment. Yeah. So if you tell a guy, oh, I did this, or I want to do this, and they're like, you're scared of that, because we usually get worried or affected by the judgment of people who are close to.
Yeah, it's both of them. It's both of them. It's the judgment and
and in yourself as well. For a long time, I was ashamed of it, because for the first maybe the first year and a half that I did leave, I was like, it's all my fault. I put myself in those. So I had a lot of shame for myself.
Yeah.
And until I realised, and I was like, hang on a minute, no, that's not. It wasn't me. I didn't ask for any of that. I don't deserve any of that.
Were you still gigging and doing music and writing music at this time?
I'd stopped writing. That's one thing that I'd stopped doing. And I was still gigging, but not as much, because my head wasn't in it.
So your album, your EP, your debut EP, Awaken.
Yes.
Is this dedicated to, you did that to raise awareness and charity for domestic violence?
No, that's what it turned into.
Oh.
So basically, after that relationship, I went back to the producer, because I'd found myself writing again and being inspired. And this blockage just kind of left me. And because obviously I had a lot to write about and a lot to say and a lot of material. So I decided to call him up and just say, hey, you want to... And he was like, I've been waiting for this phone call and I've missed you. So I kind of went to him. And to be honest with you, for a while, I struggled to... I thought the blockage had gone creatively, but I couldn't put down in words. I almost didn't want to like open that can of worms, because I felt like
it's like exposing yourself and then allowing yourself open to rejection, because you've just poured your heart out for everyone to see.
It's intense. So but then lockdown came,
and everybody became creative and emotionless in my sense. I say emotionless because, you know, when I say emotionless, it's in case of... don't squeeze your face. Let me explain first.
What?
Emotionless in the sense that...
Don't squeeze your face.
A lot of people felt, you know, I have nothing to lose here. There's nothing to do. So I might as well just dive into this. And, you know, what would be. Everybody thought the world was ending. So everybody decided to...
I believed it.
Everybody wanted to do stuff to make sure it was all good. So lockdown came. Yeah. And you had more time to yourself, more space to yourself.
Yeah. I wish it was as smooth as how you just described it, but so after I'd left, I had 2 incredible years of girl power, and I did all the things that I was told that I couldn't do and that I wasn't good enough for. I did all these amazing things that I ticked off my list as a performer. And then when lockdown came, I think because I didn't deal with what had happened, I just left it and continued to just be this, you know, new version of myself. I then, once I'd had a minute to sit, or a year and a half, however long it was, and sit with my own thoughts, that's when everything started rushing back. So I started dreaming about things, dreaming about him, and I was like, where is this coming from? Then I started having flashbacks, and I was like, whoa, so it all came crashing down. And then at one point I was like, I miss him. And then I was mad at it was the weirdest thing. So after that, after I hit rock bottom with my emotions there, I then thought, okay, I can either use this now, because I couldn't go to the studio, but obviously I had like a mini studio at home. And I thought, just sing it. No one's going to hear it. If you don't want it to leave this room, just start it yourself and send it to Dylan, send it to the producer.
Shout out to Dylan, man.
We love you, Dylan.
That was waiting for that phone call.
Yeah. So that's what I did. And sometimes I would just send him me singing. Other times I would be like, I kind of want it to go like this. And then I'd send it to him and I'm like, I'm not crazy, but this is where I'm at. And because we've known each other for 10 years plus, you know exactly where I was at. And we went from there. And it kind of took for that to happen, for me to really let go then and sit on my own and just press record and write the darkest songs. And then I kind of started going through the motions of, you know, those dark places that I was in. But then after that, I went through different stages of like being angry and, you know, the fuck yous and you know, so that's where...
You were going through the 5 stages.
Basically,
it is, I tell people that everything that happens to us in life, you have to go through the 5 stages. I always tell people, sometimes people go, oh, what's up, Ian? Like, oh, I'm always at the 5th stage. Always at the 5th stage.
Which one's the 5th one again?
Acceptance.
Oh, okay.
So it's denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. So you initially you're like denial, like nah. Then the anger sets in, like this, and then you start bargaining. Should I go back? Should I not go back? Maybe I'll be better if not. And then when it hits you, this depression comes in. And then eventually, until you get to the acceptance, to me the key thing is between depression and acceptance, because acceptance means this has happened. I need to move on. And how you move on is how you accept how you want it to affect you. And then the effect comes from there. So a bit, I've always been in acceptance, which explains the laid back and alcohol. But but then it's so you literally, because you were doing a lot for the year and a half, you never went through those stages. And then when you actually had time to sit down, that's when everything
all came at once.
So then eventually, so I mean, you have so you have normal, purple, give me something, high notes, and one other song. Don't tell me. Can't remember. But those are the songs I remember from the album. Ladies and gentlemen, you should listen to the album Awaken. Nice album. But it has the messaging there. It obviously, you understand that you've been through a situation, toxic relationship. One of the things took my heart, knocked me down. It's normal. It's cool from normal. And then you now talk about, then there's a song High Notes, which is one of the songs that I've been using for the preview because, you know, Farah will be performing at the Korak Live Music, the very first one, May 30th. So High Notes though. That is not a song that's not a sad song at all. That is a R&B, take my shirt off kind of song. I mean, I've done that already, but I'm just saying. It is in that. Was that any relation to the situation from High Notes compared to? Because the other songs you could tell one or two things that happened. No Caller ID, which is that's my favorite song in the album.
Thank you.
And so that album was pretty much inspired by the situation you had gone through. Except High Notes. So where did High Notes come from?
So High Notes, originally I was just going to release as a single because I did write it after all the songs and the stages of everything. But I wrote High Notes in about 20 minutes. And I'd sat and I got to the stage where I'd finally felt like sexy and me and in my own skin again. And I wrote that song about myself. I was sat with a glass of wine and I was like, and I wrote the song of that stage where you're like, I'm ready to embrace everything about myself and just be a sexy woman again. And
is that your favourite song?
It's one of them, yeah. I like Give Me Something. That's a cool one to perform.
So, I mean, the songs that I was No Color ID. I don't like it in terms of the messaging, but
yeah.
I like it. The music is good. What you're talking about, the discovery and all that.
Yeah.
And obviously, in like toxic relationships, I'm assuming there were occasions he stepped out on you and all that.
No.
He didn't?
No. But I'm glad that's what you got from that song, because that's exactly what I like to do, is for people to take their version of it, which makes me very happy.
My phone. I mean, you said my life revolved around your phone call. Now I'm seeing pictures of her.
Yeah.
I'm seeing pictures of her on your phone.
That was more. So basically, after we split up, he then got with somebody else very quick.
Always move fast.
Very quickly.
Love bombers always move fast.
Yeah, and then I made mistakes then, let's just say that. I made mistakes, and unfortunately, one of the times that I'd gone back, he was still seeing her, and that was then. But I admit that openly. I messed up. She got hurt, I got hurt, and he did the thing, he just played us against each other, to the point of me and her met up at one point. And just kind of said fuck you to him, but then she went back to him, and we joined forces, and then she went, I'm off back, and I was like, okay, that's fine. And I was like, bye.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting album, and so it's raising money for awareness now. Is there where exactly can people find this in terms of do you have is there somewhere we can go to?
So initially, I gave it to a fellow artist, Natalie Gray. She's amazing, so make sure you go listen to her.
Shout out Natalie. Natalie, I'm trying to get you on Korak.
She was the one who was like, if you don't release this shit, I will. That's what she said to me.
So another big sister move right there.
Oh yeah, she was like, if you don't release it, I will. She was like, it's amazing. You have to do it. And she said, and because of the topic and everything that it is and everything that I felt when I listened to it, she said, why don't you do like a listening party, but invite people and pay, do tickets. And then the tickets will then go to, local women's charities, but also Women's Aid. So as soon as she gave me that idea, I was like, I love that. And at the time, I'd started doing like Thai boxing and self-defense and all that sort of stuff.
Bless you, you're in trouble.
That
black eye is coming.
What did you do to
I was in my Buffy the Vampire Slayer era, and I was like,
Buffy.
Come at me. Yeah, right, I know. Don't get me started on Buffy, because I'll just
that's true. I saw you do some My Garys on the tapping, papa. I was like, okay, she's not to be messed with.
So I used to have a PT who I used to do like Thai boxing. He was like an ex-Thai boxer. And I used to do some sessions with him. See, now I've mentioned Buffy, I can't even remember. What did you ask me? Sorry.
I'm just thinking about Charmed.
So don't worry.
Charmed and Buffy, see? My head's gone.
It's all about the roundhouse. Well, so, I mean, the topic...
Oh, so sorry. I've remembered now. So basically, with the tickets, I decided to perform it in a boxing ring. So I was like, I did a lot of healing in that ring.
I like that.
So I decided to ask the owner of the boxing club, and I said, do you mind if I use this space? It's for a charity night. I'm going to release my EP. I'm going to have some other artists come and sing, but I would love to be able to get a few tables in here, sell some tickets, and I'm going to perform my EP in the ring. And he absolutely loved it. And straight away he was on it. He was helping me. Bless him, he had security on the night, because I'd had a few threats from people, as you can imagine.
Whoa. Who's threatening what?
They were threatening the night. Obviously, like my EP, even now, talking about the situation, it's not aimed towards that person. That's just my story. I don't mention names. I don't mention anything like that. Family, anything. Because I would never do that. I tell my story and what happened to me. And it's always been like that. I will never say names. I will never... anything like that. I'm not one of these Facebook people who does all that either, and statuses about cryptic things. And I just wrote an album, an EP. But yeah, I got a few threats and phone calls for a long time. The venue got threatened. The boxing coach had a phone call.
Who's threatening boxing?
I mean, right. So I almost crumbled, and then I kind of thought, hang on a minute, this is the whole reason you're doing this. So if you cancel it now because of that person, then he's won.
He's won, yeah.
And so I went. I had a chat with the guy who owns the boxing place, and he said, "I'll get you some security." He said, "I'll be here." He said, "And by the sounds of it, you're going to have 150 of your friends and family here. So if anybody dare, then they're pretty stupid." And I was like, "Oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense." So
we just need about 100 of them to come for the Korak event,
yeah,
and then we're good.
We did the night with no trouble.
That's
Natalie came and performed and supported me, and it was one of my biggest achievements today.
Well, here's a toast, girl. Here's a toast, man. Here's a toast. To all the idiots, may they, yes, may they die.
Cheers.
Cheers.
May
they die. Simple talk. So, now, talking about, once again, shout out to Natalie Gray. She sounds like a very good friend, advised you to do what you needed to do. And you, Natalie, and a few other singers, you guys do, for Women's Aid, is Take Back the Beat.
So off the back of that night, Natalie and I sat down and we decided, because we'd raised, money for a local women's charity in Doncaster called Phoenix, and then the rest went to Women's Aid. And we'd had such great feedback. We'd actually had a couple of people who turned up on the night who basically said, it took everything for me to come here because I'd never wanted to talk about it, but I've walked out of here like Beyonce, is what somebody said to me. And that feeling of, again, just giving someone some hope or being empowered and knowing that you can come out of it and you can do great things, we decided to take it further. So we created an organisation called Take Back the Beat.
That name is incredible, by the way.
Shout out to Nat for that.
That's deep.
Yeah,
I like it.
It's a brilliant name. So yeah, we just decided to get a few people on board, and it just went from strength to strength. The minute we started emailing people and telling them what we were doing, we'd explain to them what we'd already done. We reached out to Women's Aid, they partnered up with us, and we were like, oh, okay, this is happening. We then decided to create a podcast and tell our stories, and then we decided to have other people on who would talk about their stories. So we had men, we had women. It was incredible. It really, really was.
Do you still get, you're doing a lot of good things in terms of raising awareness and hopefully, helping a lot of people, which is very good. Big love to you and Take Back the Beat. It is not an easy thing to do. But do you still get triggered by situations? Would you say you're not completely over it, but has it affected you in terms of getting relationships or moving on with life?
I don't know. I feel like triggered's like thrown about a lot nowadays, isn't it? So it's.
English is not my first language.
No, it really does get thrown around a lot. So sometimes I'm like, could you be more specific? But in terms of relationships, I've had maybe I've dated since, but I haven't been in a relationship since. Now
you haven't let yourself go, or you're just too busy?
I'm busy. I'm never busy for love. That's
a song right there.
The
busy
good
for
thing
love.
that I've taken away from that, I think, for the first couple of years, like after COVID, when I really realised that I thought I'd gotten over it, but I truly hadn't. So those 2 years I dealt with it, I tried to work on myself, because I think that's the most important relationship you have is with yourself.
Self-love.
And I'm a firm believer in, if I'm not okay inside, I can't then put that onto someone else. If I'm not my best version of myself at that time, then I don't have anything to give to anyone else.
As much as love has loads of definitions. And
yeah.
I believe growth is one of them.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you let somebody grow with you for you to become the better versions of each other.
Yeah, and that's where I'm at now, which is really nice because I haven't.
Hold on 1 second, man. I need to click. Come on, man. Come on. That was a click moment. That was definitely a click moment.
Wait,
I mean, it was just a question.
I don't think that was a click moment.
Question
it wasn't.
I don't think it was quite.
No, listen again. Listen.
It's a good question.
Sorry,
try again.
Sorry, Farah. That was a click moment.
I've got another question.
No, think about this. Don't you think? See, Farah, think about this, man. Think about this.
Okay.
Don't you think, love is defined as many things, and growth being one of them. Don't you think you need to find somebody so you can both grow to become better versions of yourself? Come on, people.
I think you click when they give a good answer, not a good question.
Yeah.
That's the only thing.
I'm gonna edit this part out.
Because
this is just terrible, man.
Shall we just?
So
we just click for your own.
Let's just click for your own.
Thank you, Farah.
Oh my God, that was so inspired.
I truly believe that. I do believe that.
You should do podcasts or something.
Yeah. Wow.
No, I do. That was definitely a click moment.
Because I was
just so involved in what you were saying. That was
one of the things is, and I'll ask you this: where does it get to the point that? And I'm not saying you, but let's talk about this generally. Because you meet people and you say, okay, what's the situation? Are you in a relationship? Are you wanting to see other people? And they say yes, but they tell you, but I don't want to do it because I want to find myself. I want to be the best version of myself. I believe it gets to a point where it's fear / an excuse because you don't want to face that fear.
Yeah.
Because going through the situation that you've gone through and doing all the great things that you're doing now, do you borderline on the fear or letting somebody actually see the best version of yourself?
No. But again, I know what you're saying. If you're going to meet someone and then use that as an excuse that I need to go work on myself, that's probably, I mean, I'm not perfect, but that's probably something that you should have figured out before you started a relationship with somebody else. And like I said, that's what I kind of realised, is that I needed to heal myself and that I wasn't interested in anyone apart from myself at that time. Because I wanted to be that best version of myself that I knew I could be. I wanted to focus on my music, on my gigs, on my friends, on my family, especially after COVID, because that's all we kind of wanted to do. But yeah, I absolutely agree that you've got to be, if you've been through things or when people, and no judgment, but just from what I've learned, jumping from relationships when you're still a little bit broken from the last, never really works.
You attract the same sort again if you're not healed.
And it's just, if you get two broken people together, it ain't,
it's
not going to end well, is it? So
first of all, they both will never agree that they're broken, because they always keep pointing fingers at each other.
Exactly.
And it's always the case. But it's good. I mean, at least you can admit it. Yeah. You're walking through. Yeah. I mean, you've said you're not perfect like 4 times on this podcast, so don't worry. None of us are. None of us are.
Okay,
so it's
not even me.
Nah, not even you.
Not even
what? I don't believe that.
I know, right? But
I can.
Shocked
After your accusations earlier, I can.
Listen, you can fight with yourself about if you're really from up north or not.
I'm from the north.
You are. Don't worry.
Thank you.
I told you, she just wants to feel safe here because she's in the big city. The big smoke, as Jay calls it.
So give or take, how many tours do you take back the beat do? You just come back from one right now, right?
No, that wasn't Take Back the Beat. That was for a production company.
Oh, nice.
They're London-based. They're called Red Entertainment. I'll give them a shout out as well.
Oh,
really
there you go, Red Entertainment.
Yeah, they're really cool.
If you ever start doing podcasts, wink, wink.
Yeah. So we did the first big one, and that was, we worked with Push Baby. And I'm saying these people because all of them came on board to work with, the organisation that is about, survivors and victims of abuse and, of violence. And that in itself, because there were some artists we reached out to that didn't want to touch it. Again, because it's a hard thing, it's taboo. It might not be on brand for them to be associated with that. So I'm going to say these people purely because it was incredible that any of them, they've got such a big following and things like that. So we were truly grateful. So Push Baby joined us on tour. Sody, Billy Locket joined us on tour. What was that? And obviously Natalie Gray. So we did a few dates, and then we also decided to do some shows where we had a all-female cast of local singer-songwriters, unsigned artists, and they all came and did like 15 minutes each, and we all just jammed, and it was really nice.
That's really good.
Yeah.
With the domestic violence, and I have never been in a situation, I've never experienced a situation where a guy is talking about it. I'm sure it has happened, but I have never experienced it where it is, it's that whole, I grew up in an era where, and it's one of the things I still, being a traditional man, there's certain things you hold on to, and it's a space that is difficult for some men.
Yeah.
Have you had men join the fight, help with the awareness in terms of what happened to them, not just supporting you, but coming from a place where it happened to them?
Yes. So we've had a few episodes. One was a guy who watched his mother go through it growing up, so became very close to his mum in the sense of looking after her. And then that's the same guy who I went to do my self-defense, because that's why he did it. He did self-defense classes for women for that exact reason. We also had a survivor on who didn't want to be named, and I won't name him, but came on and told his story. And then we had our sound guy, Mike. He actually one day said to us, I edit this podcast and listen to it. He said, and I just want to tell you that I've been there. So and we were like, well, we'd love to have you on. We would never obviously force anyone, but if you want to come on, we've very much said, the same you said to me, is there anything you don't want to talk about? Also, it's an intense episode, so if you 2 hours later have a complete meltdown at home and be like, I don't want to do it, don't do it, then we won't. That's fine, because that's up to you. And then who else did we have? Oh, and then we had another guy whose daughter had been through it, so it was a dad. So we've had all, yeah. So he'd also opened a boxing club. Yeah. So it's many points of view from different men, which was really nice to see, actually. For them to step up and talk about it as well, which was cool.
Cool. You're working on a new album that comes out in autumn 2024. Yeah. You just released a single, Superpower, amazing song. You should. The only thing better than the song is the picture of the
you in this picture.
The picture, yeah. I mean, there's a whole couch where she sits down on the edge. It's at the edge. You should check it out, man. This is the part in the podcast. If you can put up the picture, you could just put it up and you say. But amazing song. I mean, I sent her a message. I was like, you smashed it, and she just did thanks. Like I was. I
don't know what else you want.
I was so excited. Like, oh my god, man, girl, you killed it. Like, thanks.
What response did you want?
Oh, thanks, Jay. That's so amazing. Thank you. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. Thanks.
Yeah. I don't know.
What do you want, a medal?
Some of us want love, girl.
Listen, if I replied, then it's love.
All right. Now I know.
I'm not very good at. I'm just like, thank you, and then.
So
swiftly move on.
With Superpower, though, it's a very powerful song, and it's actually, I'm willing to say it is your best song yet. Even as much as I say No Color ID is my best song, I think Superpower is amazing. You look like you're going from strength to strength. Yeah. How many songs should we expect with the new album? Do you know yet?
There's probably, so it'll be an EP, so it'll be probably 6. So yeah, about 6 songs. So I'm working on them.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Well, as I said, ladies and gentlemen, Farah will be performing Korak live music events.
Yes.
Tickets are out now. Please buy, tell a friend. Early bird tickets, 2 for 1 are out there. So yeah, we just want, as I said, 75 members of your family that came from the 150 will be good. We'll be good to go. We are moving on to Korak differentials, and we're just going to, being a Yorkshire lass, we just want to compare a few things. And the Northerners are very, very, excited.
Can we team up?
Yeah.
No, man, because she's not a true Northerner.
I'm just gonna be.
It's not a true Northerner.
I can go. I can go.
At the end of
I
the
don't
day,
need to.
I'm confused.
I'd like to be in spaces where I'm celebrated, so I can go right now.
I apologize, Bajos. She's not a true Yorkshire girl, though.
Yes.
There you go. So we're talking about Yorkshire.
Okay.
First of all,
she's really getting away with this.
We like to compare a few things. So from Yorkshire.
Yes.
And we like the Yorkshire versus London, you know. Pretty
Yorkshire
much.
wins. Yay!
So food-wise.
Yeah.
What is the outstanding thing in the lands of God's own country that beats anything in London?
I don't even think we have like a certain thing, do we?
Yorkshire puddings.
Yeah, but you know what Yorkshire pudding is. It's not.
But people always say it's better in Yorkshire.
Oh, well, as long as you make them homemade, we're all good. None of this Aunt Bessie's shit. You make them properly.
You do realize.
I like
you do realize. So you do realize you're supposed to be like sticking up for Yorkshire here.
Yeah, but I don't feel like we're that far apart. You know.
Yorkshire, you're so far.
Like
apart,
when it
trust
comes
me.
to food.
Okay.
I
Food.
don't think.
What do you think? What do you think you're far apart in?
Like accents and like
Which one?
phrases and things like that. It's very
obviously.
different.
Give us some of the Yorkshire phrases that are like that you love.
Things that
you
will
love.
confuse us.
See, I don't feel. Oh God. Okay, right.
And I bet you.
There's no shade to anyone because I can go. I don't think that I'm that broad accent, but then I come.
You are to
South.
us. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely are to us.
I've heard.
Yeah.
Mm.
But
Your
I
accent
can
is
go
stronger
20
than
minutes
some
down the
people's up here.
road and people will call you like duck. All right, duck. All right,
Oh,
cock.
duck,
How's the
that's-
doing cock?
Cock.
How's the
Duck
doing
is
cock?
Duck is Stafford, Stoke
What's
on
that?
Trent. Those ends as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
How's
Yeah,
the
they say
doing,
duck.
How's the what?
Down there as well.
How's the doing cock?
How's the doing cock? All right.
Cock or cock?
Or we go, all right, cock. You're all right. But that's like 20 minutes down the road from me. So you can travel 10 minutes and you're like, why are we not talking the same?
This is England, right? Just checking.
Yeah.
They like sound like it's completely different. So
So how you doing, basically? But
what do
we
you-
call people cock.
So one of the things that you
Did not know
In a
that.
nice way.
Yeah, all right, cock.
there's a pub in once you come out of Highbury and Islington.
Yeah.
Once you come out of Highbury and Islington station, if you look to the right, there's a pub called the Famous Cock.
Huh.
Every time I see it, I laugh. I don't know why. Every single time. Every time I come out of that station, I
Child.
just turn and look at it. I just
Well,
laugh.
clearly
So-
it's owned by a Yorkshireman
So I
or
would,
woman.
I would probably be laughing every day if I leave the Yorkshire. If somebody just goes, "You're a cock," like I
No,
just be
for real.
cracking up.
All right, cock. Yeah, it's a thing. A duck.
Do you
Um,
agree that people from Yorkshire are probably one of the friendliest people in the world?
Yes.
How would you know?
Yes.
Stop doing that.
Yeah, I don't want to feed into this whole
I mean, I think.
North versus South.
I-
Who's
I-
nicer?
No, I think it's true. I
No.
think no. I said
No
it's
one
a
in
London
Lo-
thing, though. It's
No
a-
one in London is nice.
It's a,
Nobody in London.
No,
I'm
let's
nice.
let's be honest. Let's be
I'm
honest.
nice.
You're
No,
not even
I
Londoner.
won't
You're
say
Nigerian.
They're
nice.
nice in a different
I don't understand what
way.
that means.
I like to believe in human beings, so I won't say that nobody from London's
Wow.
nice.
They
Spend-
just
But-
express
Spend
it in a
24 hours
different
in
way.
London. Travel.
They express it
travel,
inside.
No.
Yeah, but some of my really close friends are Southerners, so I'm like,
They're not. They're Southerners. Doesn't mean they're Londoners.
oh no, they're Londoners.
Okay.
Yeah,
But they're nice to you. But what you're saying is close friends. That's different.
yeah, okay.
But strangers on the street.
Nobody smiles. Then that's what
Yeah,
I'll say.
that's-
No one smiles. You won't find anybody. Like I came home this morning, and I've done a lot of shows like in the southern area of the UK, and at least one person said to me within 5 minutes of getting into the station, "Hiya, oh, you're right. You've had a nice
Yeah.
morning." Don't know them,
We're a random
but I'll hold a
convos.
full
Yeah.
conversation with somebody, or just a hello or a smile. But then I got back on the train to come here, and no one even looks at you. Everyone just tuts at you if
That's
you're in the
exactly
way, and
it.
you're like, "God, just slow down."
That's exactly it.
So do you ever see yourself leaving Yorkshire?
No, probably. Excuse me.
I mean, and I don't mean like for gigs and stuff. I mean, so like.
Yeah, I think because I don't spend a lot of time. I do spend time there, but I'm here, there, and everywhere. So I feel at the minute where I am, I'm very happy, and it's my base. Would I move? Yeah, but my family are there, and it's it's home, and I like to go home. I've had 2.5 weeks away from home, and I'm ready to go back and have a couple of days, but then I'm off again. So I would move, but I kind of like to be everywhere, if you know what I mean. I like to have a base, but I do like being on the road. I like fly outs. I like to just be going 100 miles an hour.
In the music world now, with everything that's happening, what do you see as the one thing that seems to affect up-and-coming artists or musicians that are trying to make it? What is in the 2024, what is the thing that affects people the most with the way music is going?
Views and followers. Bless you.
Thank you.
Views and followers. I think a lot of friends I've got in the business will sit in rooms with people and have meetings, and they'll say, if you're not posting 5 TikToks a day, or if you've not gone viral, if you've not got this plus followers, it's almost like now no one will just believe in you and your music. No one will get behind you if they're spending money.
Do you think I like to look at it, I think it's a lazy approach of corporations to make money. Because you do a lot of the work.
They want you as a brand.
Yep,
they don't want to help.
They want you as a proven brand, where back in the day it used to be somebody actually finds talent and then goes, let's work on this person and let's push things out. Yeah. Which you would think they should do now, considering that pushing the person out should be easier. Yeah. But now they want everybody to go out there, and so you have a conversation with people and like, oh, I'm doing this, and they're like, oh, okay, that's cool. Are you on socials? Yes. Yeah. How many followers do you have? Yeah. That's usually the first question people come.
Yeah, that's what determines.
How much does that affect you guys in the music world?
I honestly think a hell of a lot. I think it's a massive thing. But also, I think it's getting like higher and higher now, in the sense of, I know people who've got millions of streams and then that's still not enough. Or I've heard people who get signed to big record deals, and then because one of their songs went viral, the next one they do doesn't do as well, still does great, and then they get dropped.
That happens a lot now.
It happens so much, and then it's like they don't want anything to do with you anymore because you're not making them enough money. Whereas I then think, well, they don't believe in you then.
I think.
Sorry.
No, you go on.
No, go, honestly.
Too nice. Go on.
I do think you have to be a brand to a certain extent. You've got to know who you are as an artist. Yeah.
What would you say with... Because I'm a guy that likes to have a lot of conversations. Some people call it arguments, but I call it conversations. Some people argue in the sense that the amount of work that you put in, and with you creating your own brand, shows a very big level of how serious you are and how you want to make it. Once again, I still see that as, you just want to make sure that you're putting your money in something that's already proven. Yeah. I don't particularly agree with it. There might be a point, because there are people out there that just, I'm a good singer, I don't want to push anything out. I'm not going to even... I speak to a lot of musicians, trust me, and especially with Korak, and you're trying to make things, and people are like, so you say, for example, let's collaborate, let's push tickets out. Yeah. This is your show. And they're like, I don't do that. So there are some people that are like, I just want to sing and then jump on the brand. But then there are people that, like yourself, that are busy putting out stuff, making sure that everything is all good. But the bigger guys just want to sit back, relax. Yeah. And the way I see it is, eventually when people do get that brand, they are more than happy to just jump on the big brands, because it kind of relaxes the amount of work they have to do.
Well, yeah, true.
So it is... I mean, you see it in all forms of art. You see, like, when comedians are out there, they're dropping skit upon skit upon skit and, making everybody laugh, their brand gets bigger. The moment they get bigger, start doing a lot of live at the Apollo, O2, the skits just get smaller and smaller. Because they finally got in that space that,
they don't want to put in the work,
It's all good. So, so you think views and following is...
I guess, I think it's probably in between those things that we've just been saying. You've still... constantly got to make sure you're working. If you do make it there, you can't just then sit back and relax. But I think people who really have always, I don't know, I think you'll always just keep pushing no matter what, because it's your art.
Don't know though.
No?
I'll tell you what, you know how you can tell the difference between, we were talking about this, Blessing and I, off air, where you have these artists that come out, they're hungry. Like, so their first album, amazing. Yeah. As in so good. They start making money, start doing a lot of stuff. The second album, now you could argue and go, because you're comparing it. But we are. I mean, if you give us something that good. Something that we're expecting. So is it the hunger, or is it, is the mindset? And then you tend to find that sometimes the second album is not that good. People start complaining. Third album becomes, so big. Is it a hunger thing, or is it creative distance? What would you call it?
I don't really know, to be honest with you.
I mean, you're in trouble because Superpower is amazing. So the other 5 songs have to be you're like.
I think it's just about staying true to you and making sure that as an artist you just keep doing what you love instead of comparing, and that is so easily said and very hard to do. Has anybody seen the Lewis Capaldi documentary where he took all that time because even him at the level he was at, his people were like, it needs to be better than this. It needs to be better than.
I think like it's the pressure once they have done that first album, the second album. Yeah. You've now got expectations. You've got all of these. It's not just passion and hunger anymore. You've got all of these things that can hinder the process.
Yeah. But then maybe it's the people. Then maybe it's your fan base that keep you going in that sense. Because if they like you, they'll like whatever you put out. So they won't compare it to the last thing you did. They'll go, oh, that's where she's at now musically. That's where she's at. Don't fans
always compare though?
I don't think true fans do. No,
true fans don't.
You're telling me you haven't compared the JT albums?
No,
none.
To be honest with you, though, after what was it? What was the album with the disco ball on the front? God, I'm not
Justified.
No, that was his first one.
That's his first album.
And then was it called Sexy Back? Was it just called Sexy Back?
The one with
I know.
Abby,
he did like Love and no, that's not. That was Sierra.
The Sexy Back album.
No, Carry Out. It's Carry Out in the Sexy.
Yeah, that's in Sexy Back, isn't it?
Is it?
Whatever album Sexy Back is on.
What was the one?
Somebody should Google.
Oh, he did My Love with T.I. on it.
Yeah, that's that album.
That album was good.
Way better than
Justified was good. Oh, see, I love Justified.
And then when
that came out, I was like,
I love Justified, but that other album was better. And
I like them both equally.
Yes,
they're
that's
just
the
different.
No, that song was
because I like him.
It's just like Losing My Way. Oh god, that song.
Oh my god, yeah.
That's JT was an enemy.
Justified, Future Sex, Love Sound.
Yeah,
Love Sound was amazing too. I mean, it has Mirror and all that stuff. So I was always involved in the JT Usher battle. So I kept JT closer because it was the enemy. So I'm listening to the music like going, oh god, this guy is whack, but I'm there like moving.
Really?
Yeah. But there's only one song till today has not convinced me. Every other song is that, and that's Sexy Back. I don't know why people. I don't understand why people like that song.
I love that. That's like if I'm trying to feel good, if I'm like getting dressed up.
Are you a bit? Yay!
That is such a good song.
I like the guy. Losing My Way is probably one of my best songs.
So good, isn't it?
Love Stone. I like all that, but that Sexy Back. Oh god.
Oh, I'm here for it.
It blends in. It kind of blends in with. It's like when you go to Newcastle and you keep hearing the Black Eyed Peas song. Tonight's gonna be good. That's how Sexy Back is to me. Like, and the funny thing is, I tell you another thing that kills me. Once the song starts, I'm bringing you just see everybody stand. I'm like, you're not sexy. Sit down.
Oh my god.
I'm bringing Sexy Back. Yeah,
put some respect on
they
the
can
song.
call themselves sexy if they want to.
And I can say they're not.
Exactly.
I'm like, they
Everyone's
can be
sexy in their own way.
way.
That's such a tune. How can you hate
that
on
is
it?
a tune.
You're not right for that.
Did you watch his Tiny Desk?
No, I haven't seen it.
You're not a real fan. No, I'm joking.
No, do you know what? I didn't grow out of him, but I moved on from
watch
JT.
his
Maybe I need to
Tiny
go back.
Desk.
I know how you feel, man. It was me for Shakira, Khalees. Loads of people like
the early 2000s, but
such a good era, so good.
It was the shit.
Oh, it was so good.
So who's your go-to listen at the moment?
Neo.
Did you go for a show?
Love Neo. No, Neo.
Neo, not Neo.
No.
There's a difference.
Neo? She's a
Neo, the female artist, the UK artist.
Oh,
yeah, she's very good.
I'm sorry, Neo.
I do actually.
No, she's very.
I thought it was a northern accent.
Right.
Yeah. She's what genre is she? She's like neo soul. Is it neo soul? Do you call it?
Yeah, she's kind of mixes like funk in with like the description of her music. If you like look her up, is just everything mixing.
Yeah.
Her voice is unreal.
So good. She's got that song with is it Gold Link?
Yes.
That's like one of my favorite songs.
One of mine is I love Another Lifetime. I love Blue Wine.
Yeah. Big up, Neil. Big up.
Blue Wine, yeah, and Orbit.
Yeah.
Orbit is
she's
just like so chill, but she's got hints of like Prince. You can tell she's like inspired by Prince on some of the tracks, and she's just dreamy. She really is. I love her.
So what's your best era of music?
Like late 90s, early 2000s. You
Zidane.
can't beat it.
You
It's
can't.
I think that's the best time of music.
Yeah.
But that's not my best era of music.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I'm in the 60s, Motown and all them, soft soul. I'm that guy. Whiskey, slippers, listening to,
See, then...
my guy. My number
See, everything
one
though,
guy.
because I love like Nat King Cole, Billie Holiday.
Yeah.
But then I also love rock and like...
What are your
Blur
favourite like
and
rock bands?
R&B. Definitely Green Day.
Green Day.
Green Day, Foo
okay.
Fighters.
Foo Fighters, you got me. Green
Yeah.
Day,
Really? Oh,
I'm
me
not.
and my dad.
I do not like Green Day.
We love Green Day.
I love everything but Green Day.
What about
Everything
you
but
guys? You're like absolutely fucking nuts.
Foo Fighters, Dave Grohl.
Oh, Dave Grohl, yeah.
He's just a legend.
He is. He
Just a
really, really
legend.
is.
I'm a big Queens of Stone Age fan, so
Okay.
yeah.
There
I
we
can
go.
tell.
You need to look up Frank. We'll speak.
We'll
talk.
speak. We have
Yeah.
so much to talk about.
I know. But I'll give you
Okay, it's all good. I mean, this rock band forming outside, Bajels and Farah T. New album coming out.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll do drums.
The Northern
I can start
Sisters.
learning.
Okay,
I can see
the
the Northern Sisters.
Yeah,
Okay.
Get your
Okay.
tickets on tour up
you're
north.
banned. You're barred. You can't come to
Listen,
any
up
of these
north.
concerts.
Listen,
Blessing.
I have nothing to say.
All right, we'll round up with a few musical questions that I like to ask, just to understand your mindset.
Yep.
So, best breakup song.
Breakup song. Ooh. Desiree. What is it? You know exactly which one I mean.
Free from Desire. No.
No, the
don't
one
know.
from Romeo and Juliet.
Oh, I don't know what it's called, but I can hear it in my head.
Is it When Doves Cry? But it's her version of it, not Prince's.
Google it, people. Best love song.
The Flamingos, I Only Have Eyes for You.
Oh, hello. Best hookup song.
I'm bringing
Sexy
sexy
back. Thank you. I was hoping you were going to do that.
Most
Yes.
Okay, Blue Wine, Neo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Most underrated song.
Blue Wine, Neo. I'm saying it twice.
Oh, okay. You have to listen.
Or
to that.
Bad Blood, Neo, actually. Most underrated for me.
Most overrated song.
I Got a Feeling, Black Eyed Peas.
Yeah, no,
There you
seriously.
go.
I agree with you
You
there.
gave me that
I
one,
agree as
yeah.
well. That's,
Yeah.
no.
If you could pick a song that you would sing as a soundtrack for any movie, what song would you sing and what movie would that be?
Ooh. The movie would be Moulin Rouge.
Oh,
So-
that's a very good play.
Have you seen the
The
musical?
musical. I
in
mean,
No,
I
I've
have
seen
a
all the
couple
ads.
friends. I can't drop too many names, but I have a couple friends in there.
In it, oh my god,
It's
I've seen
great,
it.
yeah.
Well, tell them
Celeb
they're all
friends.
incredible from me.
Celeb friends.
They're all incredible, please.
Yeah.
I mean, they already know that,
Yeah.
anyway, but it's an incredible show. I cried, I laughed,
Oh.
amazing.
When did you see it?
Just after like lockdown, so it was
Oh.
pretty magical because
Yeah.
everyone, you could tell,
Everybody
it was that
happy
like,
to be
oh my
out.
god, everyone's back on stage, people are in a theatre. It was magic. I'll say Nature Boy for Moulin Rouge.
And finally, when you're in your own time, having your me time, relaxing, no daddy, nobody else, no touring, what is the one song you listen to?
The one song I listen to. I don't know, it's probably like a Beyonce song or something. Something like Energy or from Renaissance. Just something that like you're walking around and just like singing along, dancing in your house and on your own. Probably something like that. Bit of girl power or Spice Girls
Cool.
all day.
You said last question, but if you had to pick one
It
song
was
that
last-
defined you
last
as a
musical
person,
question.
Oh wow.
yes, one song that defined you as a person, or captured how you're feeling right now in this area of who you are, what would it be?
See, it just depends what day of the week it is.
What's
Ev-
today?
Today would be a Flamingos I Only Have Eyes for You day. Because I just won it on a bid on eBay, so that's probably why. No, that's a rare song. If anybody knows that song, they know.
Congratulations.
Honestly, I've been looking for that. It's like £1,500. I haven't spent that on eBay, and I've found one for a hell of a lot cheaper. So I'm
You're quite happy.
questioning it. So I'll let you know when it comes if I've been swindled. But yeah, I feel like my playlist is so all over. And I never just have like a song of the day.
Yeah.
There's a song at the minute actually that I absolutely love, and I can't pronounce the name of the artist. I apologise because I will kill it. But it's called Sugar Water, and that I've been listening to today actually, and that has been like me in my mood. That and I Only Have Eyes for You I've been listening to on repeat today actually. So Sugar Water and The Flamingos is where I'm at right now, which is very chill actually.
I like it. All right, this is the point where everybody waits for everybody.
Every time.
Everybody waits for
gosh,
it, and this is when
nervous.
BK Creative himself asks you a question.
We can start clicking now from now, guys. Because
No, you can't click on the question. No, you can't click on the question.
You don't get any clicks from
you changed
me.
it. I think for me, I would love some advice for creatives who are in a place where they're trying to find themselves in whatever field they're doing, or they might be going through a rough spot where they have little or no self-belief. What would you say to that person or to your younger self to encourage them to keep going on their journey?
I would say if you're in that much of a spot creatively, get off all social media, as hard as it is. Don't compare yourself. Don't look over. Somebody said once to me, because I felt like I wasn't where I'm supposed to be, which is a question I think we ask a lot. Why aren't I where that person is? Or I thought at this age or this point I'd be here and I'm not. And a lot of people, including myself, sit in the past there and go, why am I there? And you look over the next person's garden. This is what the person said to me. You look over your next door neighbours and go, well, why are their plants higher than mine? Or why are their, why is their garden beautiful and grown and I'm not? So if you plant the seed, it will grow. But you have to nourish it. You have to nourish yourself and your music. You have to give yourself time. You have to be kind to yourself more than anything, I would say to every artist. Be kind to your music, be kind to yourself. And also, a reason why I didn't want to put things out, it was scary, but also I didn't know if my music would reach anyone, if anybody would like it. If you like your music and you would listen to it, then that's all that matters. Don't compare yourself. Don't try and fit what's on the radio. Just write what's you, and that's literally all. But also, don't be scared to put things out. People won't like you. Accept that. That was the hardest thing for me to do, was to realise that there'll be people that fucking hate me or think I can't sing, think I can't write. And once you've accepted that and you've pressed upload, then you're fine. That's what did me then. And I just thought, if I'm happy and I'm getting everything that I need to do out there, then the response is up to the universe then.
I swear, first of all,
I don't know if that answered. That's a really
already.
tough question. I feel like there was so much pressure behind that.
What I can tell you is next week, Blessing's going to have a new album. I can tell you.
I'm finally getting back into it, guys.
You'll be like,
No,
I found my mojo
Do you know
back.
what? I actually feel inspired to get back into stuff. So it's working already. It's working.
But it's I'm flattered that you're asking me those questions. But I'm still on that journey. I'm still having those days. So all I can say is how I feel when I, like I said earlier, flick those demons off my shoulders and go, fuck you, I can do this. Yeah. But also that really cheesy thing of we're only here once, so fuck it. If we're lucky, we get a good 75 years. So just do it, because what's the worst that can happen, really?
I'm going to be here till
don't like you.
110. The reason I'm not till 130 is because I drink.
Okay.
So I'll see y'all with the walking stick, people. I'll see y'all with the walking stick. Anyway, Farah, thank you very much for being on the Korak, our very first episode.
Thank you.
And you'll be performing at the Korak live music event, May 30th, Thursday.
I can't
wait. Bond Fate's UK's first brandy house. So yes, bring your friends and all your friends and your friends' friends.
Yep.
And your bodyguards and your
and everybody.
Martial arts teachers.
Actually, this is London, people. If you're coming down for a fight, we're ready.
We're ready. No, don't say that.
But it should be all good. Tickets all good. Thank you for coming down. It's amazing to have you.
Thank you for having me. You guys are awesome. Thanks so much.
Thank you on behalf of women and women who've been through, assault and things like that.
Thank you.
It's been amazing, and it's good to see people like yourselves getting out there and turning that pain into something beautiful that can inspire other people to have hope in those moments. So
good. That means a lot, because that's exactly why I do it. So thank you.
And women from the north as well.
Yes, two women from the north.
Yeah, blessings.
Yes, if you say so.
Two women from the north,
So,
one
rolling-
country boy, and one immigrant. I like it.
Good team.
Any last words, Bajels?
I just want to say blessing's really annoying because he stole my question. So yeah,
Was it ever really your question if
Really
you never
was.
asked it?
It really was.
All right. So it's goodbye from Bajels, people. Goodbye from BK Creative.
See you guys soon.
Amazing guest. Goodbye from Farah T.
Thank you.
I'm MC Sabi Boy. More things.